Transfers of players from one team to another is an integral part of football. If such an option did not exist, we would not have seen many talented players develop. After all, some players find their game only after transferring to another club, playing under a new coach and with new teammates. There are also failed transfers, about which we will surely make a video. But this video is not about failed or successful transfers, but about the sums they pay to buy players. So here are the top 10 most expensive transfers in history. Don't forget to subscribe, like and leave a forward comment. Let's go! Extra place, Gareth Bale, €101 million from Tottenham to Real Madrid. An extra place goes to the legendary Welsh golfer, rather footballer Gareth Bale. By 2013, Bale had become a real star of the English Premier League, and accordingly, many clubs from around the world began to hunt for the Welshman. Real Madrid were no exception. A great interest in Bale personally from the club president Florentino Perez was a key factor in the transfer of Gareth Bale. Negotiations were not easy, but the clubs managed to reach an agreement. Finally, on September 1st, 2013, the Royal Club officially announced the signing of Gareth Bale for €101 million, making him the most expensive player at the time.
€100 million they paid for him. I think he's been outstanding since he's gone there.
Bale was seen as Cristiano Ronaldo's successor, and his first few seasons were brilliant. But in the end, the Portuguese, who was bought for less money, remained the main power of the club. Subsequently, the Welshman was involved in a real war against the club and management that tried to get rid of him. Bale's career has not turned out the way he and millions of football fans hoped, and 2 months ago he ended it. But that didn't stop him from hitting our list. 10th place, Paul Pogba, €105 million, from Juventus to Manchester United. 10th place goes to French midfielder Paul Pogba. In 2016, Pogba returned to his former club Manchester United from Juventus for a world record of €105 million. At the time, the Frenchman was a key player for the old lady and had excellent statistics. And there was a lot of potential, as he was only 23 at the time of the move. Unfortunately, despite the immense talent, the Frenchman's game is rather controversial in some episodes with no consistency. In Manchester United, he did not reveal himself fully. Now, Paul is again a Juventus player, where he moved as a free agent in the summer of 2022. Many thought that Pogba would return to Juventus and concentrate on his football, but it has not turned out quite as hoped. He offends discipline in Italy and has only managed to play a few games for the club.
Yes, he's a really experienced player, but he's one of them, he'll get to 35 and he'll be exactly the same.
The Frenchman is still relatively young, and let's hope he can restart his career. Nevertheless, he should not be discouraged as he became part of our top list. 9th place, Ousmane Dembele, €105 million from Borussia Dortmund to Barcelona. Ousmane Dembele moved from Borussia Dortmund to Barcelona in August 2017 for €105 million. The same amount as his compatriot Paul Pogba, but with the bonuses, he overtakes his national team partner and takes a higher spot. The move was quite a scandal. Borussia was unwilling to let the Frenchman go, and Dembele wanted to move to a Catalan club so much that he refused to train with Dortmund. But the transfer still happened, and despite the fact that the Frenchman is a real talent and has such strengths as dribbling, ball handling with both feet and speed, he hasn't fully revealed in Barcelona. It happens largely because of injuries and a certain lack of confidence, on which he regularly works.
Yeah, we've always known Dembele was a talent.
Last season, the Frenchman managed to become the best La Liga assistant, and in the summer, he signed a new contract with Barca until 2024. He's now just 25 and has a career ahead of him, so we are 100% confident that if he does not justify the transfer fee at the end of the season, he'll surely find another club. 8th place, Romelu Lukaku, €115 million from Inter to Chelsea. Romelu Lukaku had previously been a player for Chelsea London, but did not prove himself there. After switching clubs, the Belgian ended up at Inter, where he played brilliantly, and Chelsea decided the forward should be given a second chance. They paid a record fee of €115 million for his transfer. In the end, Lukaku failed to show a decent game in London, and he subsequently stated that he regretted leaving the club. Now, the Belgian is on loan in Inter, who have become his home, and let's hope the 29-year-old Belgian will find himself and continue to delight the football world with goals. It's an amazing feeling, What we achieved together with the team when I was here is fantastic. It was all a merit of the team, the fans and me personally as part of the team. Inter have given me a lot and I hope I will perform even better than last time. 7th place, Jack Grealish, €117.5 million from Aston Villa to Manchester City. Jack Grealish is a pupil of English club Aston Villa, where he played a considerable number of games. With the club, Jack experienced relegation to the Championship and subsequently a return to the Premier League, in which he played a significant role. After the return of the club into the Premier League, Grealish has already been in the sights of many world giants. However, he ended up moving to Manchester City for as much as €117.5 million. Jack Grealish is an incredibly talented player, a very important part of the England national team, but at Manchester City, he was only part of a fine-tuned mechanism, not a key player as he was at Aston Villa. The head coach regularly moves the Englishman from position to position in order to find the best applications for him. But Grealish has yet to produce his full potential. In addition, he has discipline problems. It's too early to talk about the failure of the transfer, because Jack is still young, and the contract is for 6 years. Respectively, he still has enough time to play at the highest level. 6th place, Antoine Griezmann, €120 million from Atletico Madrid to Barcelona. Antoine Griezmann was a real star while playing for Atletico Madrid, but apparently he wanted trophies and decided to move to Barcelona. The transfer happened in 2019 and was valued at €120 million. The move was a real flop. Not only Atletico Madrid fans hated Antoine, but Barcelona found itself in a financial crisis as a result of the transfer.
Antoine Griezmann is not a legend even at Atletico Madrid. He's not like Torres, Godin, Forlan, Simeone.
Playing alongside players like Suarez and Messi, Griezmann was only given a supporting role and therefore he failed to show his worth at Barca. In the summer of 2021, Antoine Griezmann returned to Atletico Madrid. First on loan, and then he was bought out and signed a contract with the Spurs until 2026. At the meantime, the Frenchman still scores goals, but doesn't show the old level. Nevertheless, Antoine is still a high-class footballer and an important part of the French national team. Let's hope he reloads and continues to shine at club level. 5th place, Philippe Coutinho, €120 million from Liverpool to Barcelona. Barcelona holds the record for failed transfers, and Philippe Coutinho is no exception. The Brazilian joined the Catalan club for €120 million in early 2018. He was believed to be a replacement for Andreas Iniesta, but in reality, Coutinho did not live up to expectations at all. The Brazilian did not fit in with Barcelona's style of play and became a real burden. The funny thing is that Coutinho, while on loan at Bayern, played in the worst match in the history of the Catalan club, when in the quarter-final of the Champions League, Barcelona lost to the Munich club with a score of 8-2, and Philippe himself scored 2 goals. Consequently, not only has Coutinho failed to become the man to push Barca to victory, but he's also damaged the club that spent so much money on him. Coutinho moved to Aston Villa on loan in early 2022 and was bought out for £17 million in May. Let's hope the Brazilian shows his worth in England. 4th place, Enzo Fernandez, €121 million from Benfica to Chelsea. Enzo Fernandez really shone at the recent World Cup in Qatar and was named the best young player of the tournament. At such a young age, he's already a world champion and has attracted a lot of attention from the media and the world's top clubs. And the Argentinian has chosen Chelsea, where he transferred on the last day of the transfer window for an English record €121 million. A lot of great things have happened for me. I'm really happy with the opportunity that Chelsea has signed me, and I will give my everything to achieve the club's goal. Before his transfer, Enzo has played only 1 season at Europe. And at the moment, it's very interesting to see how he performs in the English Premier League. Whether the transfer of the young Argentine will become one of the biggest disappointments. All that we'll find out in the coming years, but in the meantime, if you want, we can make a video about Enzo Fernandez and tell his story in detail. 3rd place, João Felix, €126 million from Benfica to Atletico Madrid. Atletico had good money after selling Griezmann, and there was no one to replace the star. So the club decided to rely on a young but very promising player, João Felix. €126 million was paid for João, a record for the club. In Madrid, Felix has not yet been able to fully reveal his talent and went to Chelsea on loan until the end of the season for 11 million with full salary coverage, but with no buyout right.
I'm very happy to be here in Chelsea. It's one of the great teams in the world, and I hope to help the team reach the objectives. So
João is one of the youngest players now list, and surely he still has a long way to go. Although the transfer can be called a failure to some degree, we'll not call it so because there's still plenty of time for the Portuguese player to be revealed, and he may become a real leader of Atletico if he continues to perform for this club after the loan. Second place, Kylian Mbappe, 145 million euros from Monaco to PSG. Kylian Mbappe is probably the only player in the list whose value is currently well above the price he was bought for. The Frenchman is a real phenomenon that every club desires. What he does on the pitch is mind-boggling. Mbappe is one of the most justified expensive purchases in history. He's a real star at the moment, both for the French national team and PSG. He's only 24 years old, and despite the Parisian club's lack of results in the Champions League, the Frenchman puts his best foot forward every time and has nothing to do with the club's failures. Kylian is not even in his prime yet, and it's safe to say that if he decides to leave the club, his price is likely to be as high as the players in first place, or even overtake him. First place, Neymar, 222 million euros from Barcelona to PSG. Here we come to the first place. Neymar's transfer to PSG just blew up the football community. The game we all love has simply never seen such sums of money, namely 222 million euros. The purpose of buying the Brazilian was absolutely clear. By that time, PSG already dominated Liga, but they needed the Champions League. And Neymar at that time was young, successful, and perhaps the most talented player. Back then, he was considered to play on the same level as Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi.
Neymar is the future. He's the future. He's the present and the future. He's a player who he makes you enjoy. I'm a player.
But sadly, despite his talent, Neymar rather didn't pay off this insane transfer, largely due to his scandalous character and regular injuries. The Brazilian is now 30 and his career is slowly fading. Nevertheless, he still has a couple of seasons to justify his price. Let's have faith in him, as it is a real pleasure to watch Neymar play. There you have it, the most expensive transfers in the history of football. A quick glance at the statistics reveal a tendency. Expensive transfers usually do not pay off, and weight should be put on developing young players. If you want, we can make a video about the worst transfers in history. But now, you can make a prediction if anyone from the list will be there. And also, do you think there will be any transfers in the next transfer window that would completely change the current top list? Feel free to write in the comments.